Thank you so much for inviting, for proposing some suggestion to IEEE. I am really thankful to IEEE Standards Association, all the speakers, very well organized and very well informative session. Uh, I am basically from a system integrator, neutral host company from Saudi Arabia, and my suggestions towards will be towards like I will be presenting some ideas for indoor deployment, and it will be mostly on solution based. And it I will be really thankful if my suggestion works, if my ideas works to experts, and I will be listening from to you as well. And basically, majorly, I have emphasized on solution-based study. And then I don't have a white research paper, but later, together with your kind suggestion, we can go for a white proposal as well. So currently, I will be going through some ORAN like developments, uh, what it has significance in 5G, and then for indoor perspective, I have some suggestions which can be considered to be as a standardization. So this is the profile of my company. Very quickly, I will let you know we are the leading neutral host company. Just one slide for my company is in front of you, and we are basically hosting neutral host business in Saudi Arabia. We have the excellence to host world's largest neutral host site in Saudi Arabia, which is Haram in Makkah. In specific days, 2 to 3 million people gather in Saudi Arabia in that occasion. Moreover, we have across the borders in India ventures as well. So specifically, Bangalore Airport is neutral host site which we are deploying currently in India. So as far as very quickly, I will go to my proposal. But first of all, I will let you know the background. Somehow, you know better than me regarding 5G. It has been now evolved from first generation of networks to fifth generation of network. Now we have two frequency bands like frequency range 1 and frequency range 2 that are next band to 4G, and 5G is likely to accommodate salient features like ultra reliable low latency communication, massive machine type communication, and moreover enhanced mobile broadband communication. So, particularly in small cells, we have done some studies. Currently, Saudi Arabia is lacking in small cell market. We don't have much ventures for small cells in Saudi Arabia. And as per statistics on small cell, there is 800 times increase in deployment of 5G small cells. Moreover, 80% new sites are deployed by small cells. Moreover, its revenue is also projected to be increased. But currently in Saudi Arabia, there are not a lot of small cells which are to be deployed. So moreover, a lot of operators focused primarily on 58% of operators we know basically deployed new cases of small cell. 37 operators in the world have adopted, but we are lacking. And if we see on the ORAN architecture, as we all of you know, the BPU is further segregated and making more flexible RAN into remote unit, distribution unit, and central unit, giving vendor-free, diverse environment to all the solution makers, and it gives ease to mobile network operator as well to adopt the solution with accordingly. Moreover, we know these are the salient features of ORAN, which is like it opens it removes the barriers and opens new paths for newcomers like small companies like us can have either of ORU, ODU, OCU developed. This is a we are really thankful to ORAN community by introducing these venture. It is open for all the system integrators as well. Like I know Solid, Dancer, now they are doing venture with ORAN players, and they are trying to make their own ORAN compliant hardware. But we consider it opens when you have diverse environment and there are a lot of vendors in the foreign, you can say, foreign ecosystem, then you should have a system integrator who could handle the operations issues. Although there is radio intelligent controller, which can handle all intelligently all the issues proactively. But still, we consider these are the issue that system integrator should be, there should be some specification for the system integrator, which I believe or an alliance should consider in accordance with IEEE. If we have such standardization available in system integrator perspective, and we if basically propose to local either regulatory and mobile network operators here, then definitely it will increase the deployment venture. Currently in Saudi Arabia, maybe we have only 1 or 2 sites of ORAN. So we want to deploy it on commercial basis. We want to adopt it. We want to propose it. But we consider that there should be a system integrator specification, like a neutral host already in JOTS, there are some specification there. But we consider that specifically this area should be considered. Moreover, these are some statistics from Small Cell Forum. In this year, I attended Small Cell Forum Summit, and I found all our ORAN compliant solution there. So as per their documentation, by 2026, most of the small cell will be adopting ORAN as their core solution. And in the second graph, you can see it will be done majorly by neutral host companies. So it is an open platform which induce for the thinkers of IEEE and thinker of ORAN Alliance to do is at least a working group or at least do some good to say specification documentation for system integrators. Here, many thanks again to ORAN community who helps the operator. Like operators are like in Saudi Arabia still overwhelmed that their revenue is still declining, but they have challenged to deploy 5G indoor. And by adopting ORAN, it already reducing the monopoly of vendor lock-in. But I think this challenge can be handled well by a local system integrator. Moreover, there are icons we consider as per studies, depending upon 5G applications, there are two types of small cell, like integrated small cell and distributed small cell. And we have studied some solution of small cells as well. This is just a glimpse from ORAN Alliance memberships, and these are the only solutions which currently we studied. But in fact, there are a lot of companies who are making integrated and distributed small cell. So if we introduce small cell it is a traditional RAN network in which if we introduce in current market by a system integrator or an compliant, small cell, it will not only reduce the you can say the cost, but also it will reduce hardware requirement by introducing shared network. And my second request to IEEE and the ORAN Alliance, although I find some documentation in working groups and focus group about sharing of the RAN, but I believe there should be a prompt regularization, and there should be a standardization for active RAN sharing as well. To be honest with you, I did not find any indoor mocking or MORAN specification indoor site as a use case uh, in my studies. I will be really thankful if this is my next request to be considered in standardization. So this is taken from IEEE, which is basically on proposing uh, technical 5G small cell parameters, in which we can see by 2026 millimeter wave band will be overcoming the sub 6 gigahertz frequency band. So moreover, again, 80% deployment indoor will be ORAN compliant in the form of small cells. But I think we should consider these parameters, which is again from IEEE recently published research work, and we should consider these parameters as key enablers to finalize some 5G small cell solution. There are a lot of companies who are making integrated and distributed small cell, but I consider there should be one shareability concept, and there should be one set of parameters which is summarized in front of you that should be considered. That should be considered for finalizing the 5G small cell solutions. So these are basically standardization which I want to be considered. First of all, RAN sharing concept. The second, a system integrator concept. Moreover, there should be a parameter-based uh, parameter-based justification or some list, as I shared with you from IEEE research paper, for finalizing and adopting the 5G small cell solution, that ORAN compliant 5G small cell solution. This is end of my first presentation. If you allow me.
Ali, so before we move to the next one, thank you for a very good presentation, and I'm glad you're very focused in terms of what is needed. If you go back to the previous slide, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, not that. Yeah, the last but one. Yeah, that's it. So you have 4 topics there: RAN sharing, system integrator, kind of a best current practice type, right?
Yes.
Small cell feature standardization, small cells demand, all right. So these are the 4 topics you have. I was thinking, as I was telling the previous speaker, we are in the process of coming up with a white paper, right? Would you like to contribute to any of these in terms of exactly what your thoughts are? Because
yes, of course,
yeah.
Why not? As a system integrator, we have a lot of use cases. As I told you, we are hosting world's largest neutral host site in Saudi Arabia. So if we deploy ORAN there, along with there are a lot of parallel projects as well. So we want to propose ORAN solution there. So we can have any of use case as a white paper, and we can propose set of, you can say, system integrator responsibilities. And if you propose us, it will be helpful for us to propose it to local mobile network operators and to regulatory as well.
Yeah, I think that will be good, because that will form the basis for potential standardization. Let's just put the requirement, problem statement, use cases. That will be a good white paper. And these are very important factors. If you really want to get Open RAN deployed, right, system integrator role is very important, and there are potential pain points that we need to look into, right?
Sure, sir. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Any other question from the audience or on the Zoom? We'll go to the next topic.
There's one question.
Yeah, Purva.
May I proceed, sir?
Ali, so the question is actually from Dr. Bhupendra Kumar. Are this small cell deployment make sense for private 5G or using cloud services for public 5G?
Actually, sir, we have ventures for both. We have Saudi Aramco in Saudi Arabia, which is very good platform to deploy private 5G. Along with Saudi Aramco, there are a lot of private 5G network ventures available in Saudi Arabia. Moreover, there are a lot of neutral. I am a licensed neutral host company in Saudi Arabia. So I personally host a lot of sites in Saudi Arabia which are independent from mobile network operator. They just need to put their BBU with traditional WAN. So very thanks to ORAN, we are now aiming to have furnished shareable 5G small cell like dense air, like you can say solid. We are basically aiming to have because ORAN make it easy for us. Moreover, we have to propose in parallel with mobile network operators as well.
Thank you. So you can move to the next one then. Let's
Sure,
do
sir.
that. Yeah.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much. So this is my next presentation. Its topic is 5G, ultra reliable low latency communication in transport and ORAN. In this particular presentation, I will be letting you know what are the requirements for autonomous cars and how 5G will help in autonomous car. I have done some studies on that, and later I will show how Open RAN solution, which ORAN architecture is the best fit for autonomous cars. So I can request to you highly research community, you can consider them my ORAN architecture proposal for autonomous level of driving accordingly. Sir, this is a statistics on 5G connected cars, in which it is being revealed that by 2022, 70% in delta of connected car is increased. Moreover, there were only, you can say 22%, there is 212 billion increase in the connected car markets as compared to previous years. Moreover, if we have 5G network as a supportive network rather than Wi-Fi for the connected cars, so processing time of these data will be reduced from many days to only 2 days. Moreover, autonomous vehicles can reduce a lot of accidents. It is according to a research in United States white paper. By 2023, by 2030, there will be a massive surge in autonomous vehicles. So 5G will be addressing all the connectivity issue. So 5G has salient feature to address this communication of connected cars. But 5G should be cost effective and it should adopt a very strong, intelligent ORAN based architecture so it can intelligently monitor this type of communication. Here we have find the level of autonomous car starting from 1 to 5, and it has been taken from white research paper that if it is assisted driving or you can say not fully automated, then it requires the data rate from zero point 0.2 MB per second to onward. Moreover, the latency, it is latency tolerant. The first two level, you can have 100 to 1000 millisecond. But as it goes to fully automated, the latency requirements are also increased. Yani it becomes latency sensitive and more data rate is required for such communication. So 5G has its salient features, specifically ultra reliable and low latency communication feature is responsible for time-sensitive communication, like in robotics, autonomous cars, as we all know. And it also has the reliability, low latency, and high throughput features, and flexibility feature as well if it is deployed by ORAN. So we also know the network slicing feature 5G exhibits. Moreover, cellular service provider can adopt either of 5G slice depending upon its application, depending upon the data rate requirement, depending upon the communication which they want. So again, ORAN is the basically disaggregation into DU, RU, and CU, we all know. And it is further disaggregation of layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, and it adopts split RAN architecture, uh, which can we adopt according to 5G application. So in this slide, we have compared three split RAN architecture, which ORAN offers in general. Uh, we have split 2, which is recommended by 3GPP, split 6 by Small Cell Forum and 7.2 ORAN Alliance. And there are features. If I go specifically for ORAN Alliance split, it offers carrier aggregation, massive MIMO, and other features, so on. So I believe if you want to implement ultra reliable and low latency communication, then you have to move all the functionality towards site. So you can adopt split to RAN architecture. I will explain in the coming slide that how 5G features can be well accommodated in ORAN split RAN architecture. Here you can see uh, if I want to move all the functionality towards the site end, then I can implement ultra reliable and low latency communication feature of 5G. And if I make the computation towards the cloud, then there will be a low latency tolerant environment, and I can implement massive machine type communication. So split 2 of ORAN is specifically for, I can consider ultra reliable and low latency communication, and split 7 for broadband services. So this is a high level diagram, how you can see beautifully, you can see the split 2, split 7.2 can be well accommodated. So this is the summary of the RAN feature, working groups, focused, OTIC labs, global POC, all are open to study. Moreover, diverse environment, radio intelligent controller part of ORAN, well address autonomous cars, and disaggregated RAN gives us the liberty to implement 5G according to our application. So very quickly, this is almost end of my presentation. We have implemented SRS RAN. They have taken cost over the shelf hardware, and we use SRS ORAN concept. We presented this to the local government and to mobile network operators as well as a ORAN solution. And we find some results, very good results. We found 31 Mbps speed, which I consider can well accommodate autonomous level 1, 2, 3 for autonomous car. Moreover, it was a low power solution, and it was ORAN compliant as it is open source code for all. So at high level, I can say a shareable 5G small cell for autonomous car is the best solution. And I consider if I want to have a full autonomous car, then there will be split to RAN architecture. If I want to accommodate level 1 or level 2 of autonomous car, then my small cell can adopt either split 6 and 7.2. So this is again my suggestion. We can propose that 5G future connected autonomous cars can adopt, first of all, ORAN-based 5G architecture. Then, for level 1 and level 2 autonomous cars, we can propose split 7.2, and for full autonomous car, we can propose split 4.5. If it is accepted or if it is done in IEEE recommendation, then it will make ease for future solution makers to adopt this ORAN-RAN architecture to address 5G communication for autonomous car. So at the end of slide, I have a very good team in, this should be in the first presentation. I have a very good R&D team, very good researcher team. Again, we will do some system integrator documentation, and we will be presenting with the help of IEEE to our local government, inshallah. Thank you so much.
Good. I'm glad the way you presented and you finally have some summary what can be done. So I consider this more like a use case or best current practice for autonomous driving, right? Is that correct? My assumption?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So similar to the previous presentation, this could be an interesting use case because, as you said correctly, 5G caters to multiple verticals, right? And autonomous driving being one of them. And within 5G, RAN or Open RAN is a critical component because it's the first hop, right? And so we need to make sure how do we apply different, all the split options to different types of driving. So the way I'm sure when you map this mapping between autonomous driving type with different split option, did you have any specific scientific way to do that analysis? I mean, you have these three.
I have presented in front of you like.
No, that's fine. So you can actually include that in the white paper, right?
Perfect.
That could be a good contribution around autonomous driving and how ORAN can help optimize different levels of autonomous driving, right?
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, we are actually looking for these kind of use cases which are very, very important.
Thank you. Thank you for the appreciation, sir.
And also people who are on the call, and some people might be writing papers. There is the Future Network World Forum within IEEE, which is very much focused on 5G and 6G type technology. That's happening in November 13, 14, 15 in Baltimore, in Maryland. And the deadline for submission is September 8th. So you still have about a month if you want to.
So I already have submitted a research paper to Future Network IEEE conference. I hope it will be considered. And the 5G small cell parameter, which I presented in my presentation, basically it is my own research paper, which was published last year.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, we're going to create a repository very soon, and then we'll see. Purva, is there any question, or you have any question?
I had one question, actually a comment. So I think Ali, so I would even recommend that others, they look the way at which Ali has actually created the presentation, because having the last page of very clear, concrete recommendations becomes very easy for everyone. So for the future papers, I think maybe we want to follow the format that Ali has used, because I think it's very easy for everyone to understand what he is proposing. So that is good. And the other thing is, Ashutosh, this is for the team, that since this is more, the last paper is more of a recommendation, we can do the white paper, but at the same time we can start working on the guidelines as one of the deliverables of today's meeting itself.
Guidelines is,
yeah. Because like it's a very clear thing that is recommended, that the best current practices. Yeah. So we can start working on. Ali, so as Ashutosh mentioned, that you can prepare the white paper, but in the meanwhile, we can start working on developing the guidelines for your recommendation, because I think that's very clearly articulated. So it's very easier for us to start working on it. So we can start working on that particular aspect after today's meeting itself.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
And
Thank
Ali,
you, sir.
there is also one question actually.
Yes.
The question is actually how to standard how do standard will assist in a multi-vendor deployment? I'm not very clear about this question. This actually came from Nishant Tiwari. That thank you for the excellent insight. The operators are expecting us how standard will assist in multi-vendor deployment.
Actually, sir, this is what I was requesting in my previous presentation, that this question was asked us by local mobile network operators, that we have when we have diverse multi-vendor environment. Okay, radio intelligent controller will accommodate the taking care of ORAN based network, but there will be some excellent team behind to like network operation center to handle such to for the fault management, for the like traffic, for the any failure into the network or anything else. So I consider a system integrator can help mobile network operators to assist them to address such type of issues. Number one. So if it is under the umbrella of ORAN Alliance and IEEE and 3GPP, we can and we can say, and later the certification is also present for system integrators. Then we can have certification or certified engineers for system integrator, and we can propose to the local mobile network operator. Now we are well certified and we are recommended from IEEE and ORAN Alliance, and we can handle intelligently the mobile network, the network of the mobile network operator as well. So this, I believe.
So yeah, thank you. I think there is another question also from Raghu. Yeah, the 76 dBm is a strong signal. And do you expect the base station antenna to be always within 0.2 kilometer, for example?
Actually, sir, you can see in my presentation, to be honest, I used SRS ORAN concept, okay? And I did it in my lab environment, number two. And I used cost over the shelf hardware with one watt transmitting power. So to be honest, it was only lab environment. Officially, I am not authorized to use the C-band for outdoor purposes. So we did it only in the lab, and I found ORAN compliant RAN architecture very good in sense of signal strength, in sense of downlink throughput, and in sense of speech quality index and other RF parameters.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So with that, let's thank Ali. I think there are some comments going on if you like to address. I think Bhupendra has some kind of a federation support is required. I think there's a comment there. You may like to comment on the comment. I think multi-vendor, there was a question around multi-vendor, multi-operator support, right? So some kind of a forum, maybe ORAN forum, just like we have Wi-Fi Alliance, something similar could be good. And that could be a guideline. We have guideline document is within the scope, right? So,
dear sir, I have one question if you don't mind. The recording of this whole event will be publicly available on the website?
Yes, the recording will be available. The slides, depending on the author's permission, will make the available like PDF version at least.